Hello, Leo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, as well as already have the tarot deck that we'll be diving into shuffled, and then the decks that I'll be diving into the extended shuffled as well. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Leo. I feel like you guys have been going through a pretty tough time recently. Because in your recent past, you have the Seven of Cups with Think It Through. So, this energy in your recent past is feeling and experiencing being like incredibly emotionally overwhelmed, like just overwhelmed in general. And I feel like that overwhelm has made it really hard for you to see things clearly, maybe make clear decisions or really understand what's happening or even know how you even feel or want to do. And I feel like that's been a challenge for you quite a bit recently. And now I feel like you're coming into a little bit of clarity that you haven't had in a while. But in your current energy, you have worked through your feelings with the Ten of Cups in reverse. And remember, this is just overall energy. So we'll dive into this deeper and get more specifics. But this current energy is like unmet expectations. I feel like things just are not going the way that you expected. They have not been playing out how you wanted them to, whether it be a relationship, a career, a financial situation. I'm not sure. It's going to kind of depend on your personal situation since this is a general reading. But I do feel like your expectations have been causing you quite a bit of kind of almost emotional turmoil. And that's kind of the way it goes, right? Not that you're doing anything wrong by any means, but, when we attach uh, our emotions to certain expectations and certain outcomes and things don't necessarily play out the way that we expect, even though they might still be working out for us and we don't understand how or in what capacity, we allow ourselves to attach to these certain outcomes. And when those outcomes don't happen, we experience disappointment or distress or depression or whatever the case is when things don't turn out the way that we planned. And I do feel like this is kind of an energy of like everything is happening for you, not to you, because then in your immediate future, you have the moon with relax. So this is kind of a message from the universe being like, you got to chill out, Leo. You've got to believe that everything is working out in your favor, even if you don't really see how or having a hard time understanding how. So I feel like that's what your immediate future is really going to be about, is really trying to lean into that faith, because faith is what creates miracles for us. When we lean on faith instead of fear, that's where we're able to manifest our desires, the love that we want, just the life that we're looking to live. And I feel like you've been having a hard time doing that because you've been so kind of stuck in this, like, I don't know if it's necessarily a dark place or just a place of confusion or uncertainty, and it's been really difficult for you to like see your way out of that. So this does kind of feel like light at the end of the tunnel kind of energy. But you still have a little bit of time to go. Not that you're like super far from like that light, because it's the light at the end of the tunnel, right? It's like, it means like you see the end, but you're still kind of going through it. All right, recent past for Leo, clarifying, think it through with the Seven of Cups. Recent past for Leo, clarifying, think it through with the Seven of Cups. Please, one more. Think it through with the Seven of Cups for Leo's recent past. Recent past for Leo, please. So yeah, the Four of Cups with the World in reverse and the Strength in reverse. So I feel like, Leo's being typically very, very confident and just very able to maintain their power even in situations that make them feel powerless. But everyone is still, Leos are still human beings, and so I feel like you're still dealing with almost this energy of like something that happened in your recent past. It made you feel very powerless. It made you feel very, I don't know if it's small or like not good enough or unvalued or something, and I feel like it took a little bit of your power away. And I feel like because of that, it kind of got you into this whirlwind of remembering who you are and what you're capable of, and kind of forgetting that part of you that is very strong and very um like powerful. I don't know. Powerful is the word that's coming through. And I feel like something kind of took that away from you. And there's nothing to be ashamed of in that matter. Oftentimes the universe kind of strips us of certain aspects of ourselves, power, strength, confidence, so that we can build it back even stronger than it was before. And so it's not necessarily that you've been doing anything wrong or that you're not handling the situation well. In fact, oftentimes when we feel powerless is when we're typically being the strongest. And so I feel like you've been dealing with a lot of that energy, especially in your recent past, and I feel like you're kind of slowly but surely digging yourself out of it. Recent past for Leo, please. Recent past for Leo. It's the King of Wands in reverse. The Fool. Okay. There is a new beginning that's trying to make its way into your life. But I feel like in order to achieve this new beginning, you had to go through this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy, which is kind of like karmic energy in a way, but like negative changes that are actually blessings in disguise. So like I kind of said, oftentimes the universe will strip us of certain things, aspects of ourself, actual situations outside of ourselves, so that we can build things back up in a way that was actually better than it was before we lost things. But this is an energy right here, the King of Wands in reverse, of just a lot of self-doubt. Like I feel like you really started doubting yourself and your abilities and your worth even. And I feel like it happened because of this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy. But I also feel like this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy happened to bring you to this new beginning. And so it's kind of, backwards the way that things have happened. But I also feel like it's been whether or not you can see it, because like I said, this might be an energy of like negative changes, seemingly negative changes, things that aren't necessarily going your way or how you expected them to, right? Which is kind of what you're dealing with in your current energy. But still blessings in disguise. And the only way that we can really ever see that things end up being blessings in disguise is getting through it, right? The only way through it is through it, unfortunately. But also not unfortunately. Like, that's how we build strength. That's the point of life, is getting through the freaking hard times so that we can experience the good times. You can't have the good without the bad. Recent past for Leo. Why do these keep coming out in reverse? The Six of Wands in reverse with the Ten of Wands. I feel like you've been feeling just very like burdened and heavy, and like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and something in your recent past really kind of stripped you of your hope. It feels like a lot of what you were hoping for like didn't happen, or it didn't happen the way that you thought it would, or I don't know, something. And I feel like you've been ever since kind of carrying this Ten of Wands energy, this like weight of the world kind of energy, feeling like you are I don't know, like, I say like you're being buried by something, but like kind of like you feel like you got stuck in a hole. You were having a really hard time digging yourself out of. And it could have been because of something that happened, like because of this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy. I don't necessarily know what this is yet. But let me see what you're dealing with in your current energy. You have worked through your feelings with the Ten of Cups in reverse, because now it feels like you're kind of dealing with like the aftermath of this situation. And it has to do with like things just not going the way that you expected them to. Current energy for Leo, please. Oof. This is for Leo's current energy, clarifying work through your feelings with the Ten of Cups in reverse. One more. Work through your feelings with the Ten of Cups in reverse. The Tower in reverse. Okay. Tower in reverse with the Justice. And Knight of Wands in reverse. So here's the interesting part of the way that these energies are coming through. You know, when we, and I kind of talked about this at the beginning, but I feel like this is saying I need to elaborate on it. When things don't work out the way that we expect them to or originally wanted them to, we can oftentimes get ourselves stuck in the belief that they're not working out at all, or that our fears and our limiting beliefs are being validated. When in reality, our fears and limiting beliefs are merely being brought to the surface so that we can address them and kind of get rid of them. And I feel like that's what happened in your recent past. Is this situation, the way that things went, was actually pretty inevitable. It was almost like something was set up to go that way so that you could learn this lesson. And it feels like you're not seeing that bigger picture and understanding that nothing went wrong. Everything actually went exactly how it was supposed to go. And I feel like that's hard for anyone to hear, because it's like, and remember, these are general readings and they're not here to resonate for everyone. But if you're dealing with like a relationship that didn't go the way you expected, or a career, or just kind of a path in general, that path didn't go the way that it was supposed to because you needed to learn. I don't know if it's that you were deserving of better, or that you were capable of more, or something. Like, it didn't work out on purpose. And I feel like that's what you're needing to see, is that the past didn't go the way you wanted it to because it wasn't supposed to. And that's because something better is available to you. But I feel like right now you're kind of just having to work through this energy of like dealing with and just expectations not playing out the way that you thought, which is a very difficult thing to do. Current energy for Leo, please. You're needing to kind of shift your perspective on things here. You have the Hierophant in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse. And the King of Pentacles in reverse can be focusing too much on the like material aspect of things, like focusing too much on the circumstances and not on the spiritual aspect of why things are going down. Because when we're able to zoom out our perspective to like that 30,000-foot view and see like, okay, this is why things happened this way, or this is, I see what I needed to learn here. And it's not necessarily taking away from the pain and what you went through, but being able to give it a purpose, right? Everything really does happen for a reason. And when we can try to find that reason, it makes it easier to get through whatever it is that we're working through. And I feel like so much of your focus has been on like what happened, which makes sense, right? Because you're a human being having a real human experience. And of course, you're experiencing all of the emotions associated with whatever situation that is happening. So I'm not trying to invalidate those or say that you're wrong for feeling or thinking the way that you do. What I'm saying is that to make things easier on yourself and to learn how to kind of let go and go with the flow and allow the universe to take charge and bring you what it is that you ultimately desire, we have to learn to understand that oftentimes things don't work out so that they can work out. And we might not understand how at the time. And that's why faith is so vitally important. And that's what I was talking about in your immediate future, is learning to really lean on that faith instead of allowing fear to dictate your movements, choices, and decisions. And it's difficult because faith, I'm not necessarily talking about faith in a specific God. I'm just talking about faith in a spiritual connection of your understanding, something bigger than you, something that you can lean on. God, spirit, your higher self, the divine, your spirit guides, like whoever it is that you feel comfortable talking to, leaning on that faith and allowing them, that faith, to carry you through the times where you just feel like you don't understand why things are happening to you, or you feel like it's, you're experiencing worst case scenarios or whatever the case is, that gets you in that energy of like, man, like it's learning to have faith when you have no reason to. That's what I'm getting at. Because I feel like right now, and I get that a lot on my channel, like it's hard to trust the universe after I've been through so much, and I get it. I really do get it. But the more that we allow ourselves to try to tap into that faith, and it's hard, it's a learned process, learning to believe in the universe and in the fact that the universe has our back. But the more that you can lean on that process, the more that you can learn to understand that everything really is happening for your benefit and for the best for you, even if you don't understand how. And I feel like right now is about really trying to tap into that understanding so that you can get through whatever it is that you are currently dealing with. Current energy for Leo, please. Yeah, because there's that fear. Oh, this is interesting. So you have the moon and the 10 of pentacles. This is this abundance, right? We have this moon card in your immediate future. What this is kind of saying is whether or not you realize it, Leo, you are actually afraid of your abundance. And that's the interesting thing that we do as humans, right? Like survival mode and lack and frustration and like grinding and fighting and clawing for the things that we want and need is what we are so used to, and what we're so used to experiencing, that it in a way becomes our comfort zone. So we sometimes subconsciously, whether or not we realize we're doing it, keep ourselves in situations that align more with lack than abundance, because we're so used to that lack. And that lack, we know how that lack feels. We know how it feels to not get what we want and we deserve. We know how it feels to not have the love that you desire or the financial situation that you desire. Like, what that feels like. Therefore, it's comfortable to you, because although it's painful and frustrating and there's all those emotions attached, it's predictable. And your ego likes to maintain control, right? Your ego likes to maintain situations that it can predict the outcome of. So oftentimes, people think that like letting their ego control them is being super self-centered and, narcissistic and all of these things, when in reality, your ego is just a protection mechanism. And sometimes it can protect you from things that are good for you too, because it doesn't know what those feel like, and it doesn't know how to grasp the idea of actually having what makes you feel safe and loved and valued and cared for. And so I do feel like whether or not you realize it, this fear has kind of been dictating your movements, choices, and decisions to a certain extent. And your immediate future is starting to, because this is the same moon card, right? It's alluding to the same fear. And your immediate future is learning to not allow the fear to keep you from what it is that you ultimately deserve. Immediate future for Leo. What does Leo need to know about their immediate future, please? This is for Leo's immediate future, clarifying relax with the moon card. This is for Leo's immediate future, please. The 7 of Swords, 3 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Cups. This is this need, and for those of you who are new to my channel, I don't believe in necessarily telling you what's going to happen in your future. I believe in telling you how you should handle your future so that you can create the best reality for yourself, because we are way more in control of our reality than we give ourselves credit. And so what I'm getting at here is that there's this need to look back at things that have happened in your past, and particularly how things played out in this energy. Try to be very honest with yourself and say, was that a situation that I invested in because I wanted it? Or was that a situation I invested in because I didn't think anything better was going to come along? And so I was scared to embrace the unknown of, well, what if things never get as better than this or as good as this? So you were settling. Because I feel like that's when you can start to see where fear controls your movements, choices, and decisions. Because if you can say, you know what? I didn't think I deserved better, or I was hoping that situation turned into better eventually, even though it never did. Um, and therefore the universe kind of had to turn things, had to kind of, I don't know if it's like take away something or strip you of something so that you could learn that something better needed to take its place because you were deserving of something better. And so I feel like that's what your immediate future is about, is learning to kind of look to see that sometimes when we don't even realize it, our fear can control us and can cause us to invest in situations that are below what we are worthy of or deserving of, because we fear that nothing better is ever going to come along. And that can keep us stuck in relationships that don't serve us because we fear being alone, or we fear not having what it is that we deserve, or stuck in careers or paths that don't serve us because we think that that's as good as it gets for us, and that having the life that we ultimately dream of isn't possible, right? That's the fear of not having what it is that you ultimately desire. So your immediate future is a lot about doing some introspection on that so that you can close out this cycle of your fear being such a factor in your decision making. And again, remember that 95% of your movements, choices, and decisions come from that subconscious, and that fear lives in your subconscious. So you might not even be fully aware of how this fear has been controlling you, but needing to bring that into your awareness is kind of the first step so that you can process through that and learn whatever it is that you need to learn so that you can move forward in a healthy, um, abundant way. Immediate future for Leo, please. King of Swords and the Hangman. This is kind of some of my favorite energy that I could pull in tarot, because yep, there's that new beginning. There's that Fool card. This King of Swords energy is an energy of equanimity. Being able to be so certain in times of fear or doubt or insecurity that you're able to say, I know who I am. I know what I'm deserving of, and I'm not going to settle for any less. Therefore, if the universe is testing me with fear or doubt, I know that I'm going to experience that fear or doubt because I can't avoid it, because avoiding it is going to make it come up in other ways that will then allow it to control me. So I'm not going to avoid it. I'm going to face it. I'm going to experience it, but I'm not going to let it dictate my choices, because that is where we sabotage ourselves. Whenever we get ourselves into an energy of allowing our fear to dictate our choices is whenever we sabotage. And so I feel like there's this need, I feel like I just repeated that twice, but what I'm getting at, and usually there's a reason for that, but what I'm getting at is that when we're able to experience our fear and we're able to say, yes, I am afraid of making this choice. I'm afraid of leaving this relationship that isn't serving me so that I can find one that does. I'm afraid of leaving this 9-to-5 job that I hate because I'm to pursue a passion that I have or want to pursue in order to build my own business. Or yes, I'm afraid of making whatever decision it is that I know will lead me to a better life, but I'm afraid that I might fail, or that I might end up not getting what I want out of it, or that something bad is going to go wrong, or all of the what ifs, right? When we are able to recognize our fear and say, yes, I am afraid, but that fear is not going to control what it is that I do. Because, there's this concept about manifestation. It's like, oh, if you want it, the universe will bring it to you. That's actually not true at all. If you want it, you have to be willing to align with it. And aligning with it means working through all of the reasons that you do not believe that you are deserving, that it is possible, that you are capable, or that is meant for you, or so on and so forth. And that means facing the fear. So this King of Swords being energy of equanimity, and this Hangman being an energy of surrendering, understanding that manifestation is a process of learning to both act and surrender at the same time. Take movements that you need to take the movements and the steps that you are divinely guided to take, but then at the same time, let go of the wheel and understand that yes, there is fear. Yes, there is doubt. Yes, there is insecurity. And yes, all of those things are always going to be there, but you do not have to believe them. You do not have to believe your fear. Your fear does not have to be a truth, and it is not a truth. Your fear is merely your fear. And that is all. And when you can look at it that way, you can truly start to allow real miracles to take place in your life. And so that's what your immediate future is about. That's why you have relax with the moon card is, yes, there is fear. There is fear. There will always be fear. Your fear is never going to go away. You are not going to ever wake up one day and go, wow, oh my gosh, I am no longer afraid. Nothing scares me and I'm able to chase my dreams without fear, without doubt. That's never, ever, ever going to happen. But there will come a day if you're able to work for it, if you're willing to work for it, where you're able to say, yes, I am afraid, but I'm doing it anyway. And that's when you allow the universe to work in your favor and start to bring you what it is that you truly deserve. All right, immediate future for Leo. Immediate future for Leo, please. You know, I see it everywhere. I see faith over fear. I mean, I live in the Bible Belt, so it makes sense. But faith over fear, you see like the word faith, a line, and then fear, right? And the whole thing is like faith over fear. I see it on car stickers. I see it on billboards. I see it on social media. I see it everywhere. I don't think people really understand what that's saying. Grasping the concept of faith is not having faith that things are going to work out exactly like you expect or exactly like you plan or that nothing's ever going to go wrong. It's saying that I believe that there is a greater power that is supporting my life and my journey and what it is that I desire. And therefore, I'm going to give it everything I have so that I can live the life that I deserve to live. All right, immediate future for Leo. You've kind of, Leo, been avoiding facing this fear in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's avoiding like emotion, and the emotion is definitely this moon because it's been such a main um like theme in this reading. And there's this need to see how you've been making decisions to avoid facing the fear instead of to chase what it is you deserve. Because sometimes, again, you might not fully realize that how your fear is controlling your movements, choices, and decisions, and why you're talking yourself into staying involved in things that you know in your heart and in your soul aren't meant for you, because you know that you are deserving and capable of better. So there's that need to really try to be honest with yourself and try to see what it is that you are truly deserving of, so that you can have that life that it is that you're ultimately wanting. Because you definitely, Leo, you definitely deserve it. Everyone does. All right, I am going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these messages, jump into some advice, and then I have an actual advice card to pull at the end. Thank you so much, Leo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Leo.